Welcome back. In meditation, a disidentification process is essential. You cannot get into the deepest states of meditation without it. And so let's talk about how you know what you think you know. Our lives are an interplay between the left brain and the right brain. And this is essential to the disidentification process. You see, the left brain is the scientist, is the list maker, is the sequential thinker. And it takes everything around you and grabs them and puts labels on them. And so, okay, that's a bed. I don't need to figure out bed again. I already know what that is. Okay, that's a TV. I don't need to figure out TV again. I know what that is. Okay, that's a chair. I don't need to figure out chair again. I know what that is. And that's how it reduces the clutter of your everyday moment so that you can understand what is what. Okay, that's a light. I don't have to figure out light again. I know what a light is, so I just say light. Okay, that's done. And to move on, while your left brain is doing all that, your right brain is made to continuously scan the environment, the world, and make you aware of any possible threats. That's how our species survives, right? But it also takes things to do this, to accomplish that. It has to think in a very different how. Isn't that strange? A different how. So it thinks in a very different way. It doesn't label things. It takes everything in because you're going to be aware of a threat. You can't ignore any one piece. So it takes in the whole at once. And the right brain is the process of gestalt. So it's constantly taking things in as a whole. So your left brain takes things in and it says label, 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 right? And now you got a map of what you're in. I'm in a room, I've got lights, I've got a TV, I got a bed, blah, blah, blah. Now there's a map. And if that's all you ever live in, then you're living in a map for your whole life. And you're looking for meaning and it's not there because it's just a map. It doesn't have inherent meaning. It's just a label list. And you don't want to live your life in a label list. In neurolinguistic programming, they say the map is not the territory. In other words, the map is not real. And this is huge. So they teach you that your five senses bring electrical information. It goes up into the brain and it's downloaded through the reticular activating system, which is like a revolving door that lets in information and excludes other information. And that's really interesting. That's how you can live the same moment with your brother or sister, and then you go to the family reunion and you completely tell different renditions because it was different. You both lived a completely different moment because your reticular activating system excluded what was not important to you and included what was important to you. So you both were in the moment, but you were living two separate moments, two separate worlds. You see, everything that comes through your senses, through your five senses, everything that comes into you is downloaded into your brain and then put up as a movie. So this moment, you're watching this YouTube video, right? This moment, your brain is reconstructing everything inside your head and you're re-experiencing it. You don't experience life in the raw. You experience the filtered content that your senses and your reticular activating system gives you and then flashes on the screen of your mind. You're living in your own movie room. You're sitting down with your bucket of popcorn, watching life on the screen of your brain. Now this becomes very interesting because that means all the pieces that you see are actually pieces of your brain. So if I see a guy walking down the street and he's all built up and I think, oh, what a meathead. Well, I just judged him, right? Which is wrong. It's morally wrong. But it's psychologically wrong because I'm watching that guy on the screen of my mind, which is part of my brain. So I just judged my brain. Everybody that we judge a piece of ourselves, and our neurology responds to it that way. This becomes very interesting. If I continuously judge people who are strong and built up, and I decide, oh, I actually want that too, and I go to the gym every day and I try and accomplish it, in the background of my mind, I've already judged myself, you see. And the background of my brain will tell me, that's bad because you said it's bad, therefore I can't become that, and it will strive to defeat you. And this is how we constantly defeat ourselves in life. And this can go into meditation as well. We can defeat ourselves with wrong thoughts. We live in an age where science tells us it has the one true view, but it doesn't. Science is just one more shade, one more way of looking at a thing. A cleaned out view can be a helpful and useful tool, but it's still just one more view. Because scientists still have to view everything through the filter of their reticular activating system. No matter what you do, you can't get past that one little point. Everything you take in is being filtered. Everybody is just looking at pictures in their brain. So let's look at this, right? Let's say you come to a mountain, right? And you're an artist and you go, oh, the azure tones, the sunset as it hits the trees, oh, the whispering wind. It's so gorgeous, right? Are you correct? Maybe you're a miner and you look at the mountain, you go, the tint of metal on that mountain, I bet there's gold in them there hills. Are you right? Maybe you're a farmer and you say, oh, the slope and the valley, the way it comes together, there's good soil there. Are you right? Maybe you're a shamanistic man and you say, there are gods in those hills. I can feel it. Maybe you're a hiker and you say, that track up that mountain would be perfect for me. I love that mountain. Maybe you're a geologist and you say, well, the way the two crusts came together and pushed up that mountain, it's magnificent. That's the truth of the mountain. Are you right? Each one looks at the mountain with their own filters, with their own knowledge and their own understanding and their own reticular activating system. That part of the brain that filters out what's important and what's not important. And that gives them an entirely different reality. So if you will think on this point, that no view is the right view, that every view has something that it adds and something that it possibly takes away, then the world becomes a much more interesting, diverse, and fascinating thing. And it will help you in this disidentification process. And if you start to think a lot, that if you start to think all the time that everything I'm looking at is just a piece of my brain, I'm watching a movie in my brain, and therefore what I'm seeing is not necessarily reality. If you keep with that thought, it's going to help your meditations in a big way. When you get deep into a disidentification process, the end of that process is the awakening of Kundalini. That's huge. I bet no one ever told you that. But that's the end of a disidentification process. And if you take a disidentification process into your life and into your meditations, they will explode. Okay, guys, that's all I got for now. Take care, and I'll see you next time.